So I was just laughing to myself because here I am walking around in the woods near where I live with pads, with paper. So I have all the different shots that, well, I'm shooting today and a pen. And in my bag, I have a tripod. And I'm just walking around looking for a pigeon so I can capture a pigeon for my video. And it's funny and all, but I mean, literally, I have 15 shots that I'm shooting today to shoot, which will take up probably, I don't know, hard to guess, maybe 30 seconds of my video, a minute max, maybe even just 15 seconds, I don't know. And I'm spending my entire day just filming these shots, but I love it. I just keep telling myself, my goodness, I love my work. This is my craft, because this is just so fun for me. And ultimately, the point here is, I think what really matters is doing work that you love, because then it looks like work to others, but feels like play to you. And that is how you do incredible work. And that's what created these geniuses like Leonardo da Vinci. Because it's actually for the video, How to Think Like Leonardo da Vinci, that I'm shooting, for which I'm shooting right now. And the reason I'm looking for a pigeon is because I want to take a shot where I capture the pigeon just flying away, and then a close-up of my face where I kind of like, I'm intrigued, because it will align with the voiceover that will be saying, for example, Leonardo pondered how exactly birds fly. And then after that, the next shot will be, and how humans could too. To which I'll go, yeah. But, and I'm looking for a pigeon specifically because they make a really distinct noise. And I don't know, I really want this to be like a zoomed in shot of the pigeon, where I kind of like track it rather than just, you know, a normal still shot of a bird flying away. And I just think that a pigeon will be perfect because it just, once again, makes that distinct noise, which if you can't hear in your mind right now, then I'll most likely have it in my video if you've seen that by now, How to Think Like Leonardo da Vinci. But yeah, really, really short one today. I just wanted to say, just do what you love. And it's so ironic, but Steve Jobs, or sorry, cliche, as the word I was looking for there, because, you know, everyone says follow your passions, do what you love. But truthfully, I don't think that passion is the entirety of the equation. Rather, I think it's a combination of curiosity, passion, and purpose. And that's why I love my work so much, and that's why I'm never going to give up, because I'm not relying purely on passion, because passions are fleeting. And if I were following my passions, oh, no way. That was not a pigeon. I'm not sure if you saw that, but I just had a little bird fly by right in front of me, and that potentially could have been perfect, even though it was not a pigeon. And there's pigeons away out there. So I'm going to finish this episode. But yes, what I'm saying is that passions are fleeting. And if I were following passion purely, then I would be maybe, I don't know, drawing, because as a kid I love drawing. Or if I were following my biggest passion, I would be a driver, potentially racing on a track, don't know. But although that was hard for me to accept initially, that I may not be able to follow my biggest passion, or at least not at the moment, because I don't have the funds, or I didn't and still don't have the funds to become a driver and race in F1 or a rally or something. I came to accept that because I realized that wouldn't really directly contribute to my mission. And my mission or purpose is to inspire and guide people to their full potential. And that's why I love my work that I do right now, which is filmmaking. That's my craft. And specifically, filmmaking that educates and inspires. And I love it because I'm following my curiosities, which revolve around human potential. For example, I'm deeply fascinated by how Leonardo da Vinci became so incredible and how he tapped his potential And it aligns with my mission of inspiring, guiding people to their full potential, because I kind of learn about Leonardo in the first place, and then I share with everyone else those things which are actually maybe things people don't realize, because people think that Leonardo da Vinci was just some kind of god or alien or something, and I used to think this too. You know, Leonardo da Vinci is this big name that you just hear like you do Jesus or God, right? But really, he was just a normal human being that did a certain few things that allowed, to be fair, for his whole life, yes, that's the tricky part, but a certain few simple things that made him so incredible. There's a car passing. And I aim to share this with people and help people tap their full potential. And then my passion here is filmmaking, because I love editing. I really, really, really love, and when I say editing, I don't mean like animations. I don't really like just sitting there and I don't know, I just don't like sitting there for too long, or maybe doing very repetitive work. There we go. But I absolutely love editing and kind of like aligning music with clips, and I also love filming. I've increasingly lately started to love filming more and more now that I really have been taking more creative shots for this video rather than what I used to do. I used to do just, talking head. That's what I did for my last video even. This is a really nice spot with the sun piercing through in the back. And then my purpose, which, I've already told you. So I have curiosity, passion, and purpose stacked, which Stephen Kotler calls the intrinsic stack. And this is why I love my work, and this is why I'm never going to give up. Look at this. I think it's a beetle. That's so random. But actually, by the way, speaking of geniuses, Charles Darwin, he followed his curiosities and just, he loved beetles as a kid, just going out in nature and finding beetles. And look at what he became. He became a genius as well that is also revered. And yes, and the final two, so those are like the main three, that's three. Those are the main three ingredients of kind of performance and creativity and sustained great work, creative work. Curiosity, passion, and purpose. But there are another two, which are kind of like an extra two. So those three are the foundation, but the extra two are autonomy. So basically the freedom to pursue that work. And then the last is mastery. So basically just getting better and better at your craft constantly. That produces an incredible feeling for us humans. No wonder. Who doesn't like being great at something? And so so the lesson here is I keep saying the lesson here. I think this is the third time. Do what you love. And once again, it's cliche, but the reason for that is because that's ultra simplified. If you were to put it more, maybe not elegantly, but really like formally or in a different way, it would be pursue what you are intrinsically motivated to do, or do what you are intrinsically driven to do. Basically, you just feel a drive from within to do that. So in other words, put simply, doing what you love. That's why it sounds so cliche, because it's just super simplified. That's what creates incredible work. And it's like having a car in your engine instead of trying to push your car off a cliff. And pushing a car off a cliff, I've used this analogy before. That's what basically you're doing if you're doing things purely for reward, for goals like money and fame and all these other things. That's initially why I did the work I did before, a couple of years back. But then over time, over the months and years of pain that I experienced, I came to learn and realize that really was not the way to success and fulfillment and all these things. But yes, I wish you all the best until next time, and be mega. Ciao.